What's up, everybody? Enlightened Masculinity Podcast. And just a few or two episodes ago, we had Master Pyro, Master myself. We got him back because I was overly talkative, I think. I talked too much and I wanted to get more dialogue in with these guys. They're looking even sharper today. They really look like a team. Like if I was in the jungle, it would be a couple Black Panthers. That you don't normally see Black Panthers team up like that, but man, that's kind of scary. And so we got you on, man. Where did we go? Like I titled this based on the theme of the song I was just listening to, If I Could Melt Your Heart. That's what I called this. So that's what this episode is called. We got Master Pyro, videographer extraordinary, photographer extraordinary. He's coming to the camp this weekend. Master myself might be making it here live this weekend. So our next episode, we might have a photo of all three of us. So I don't have to share 3 photos. And so what's going on with you guys? What's going on in just your life and business? Like, you know, you guys are monks. Here in the IMC Nation, you've been anointed, ordained, beaded monks, beaded warrior, shape-shifting monks. You went through the phase 1 process. You've been around for years. People know who you are. People who are watching the lectures, they hear you're getting, I mean, Jordan Demari was probably already there, but really at one point I started interacting with guys in IMC Nation. This will definitely happen with Sultan if it hasn't already happened. And they were regarding me with so much respect as if I was famous already. They knew who I was. I didn't know who they were. And I didn't know I was known like that, but just because I had been shouted out in so many lectures and they're watching. So as they're watching the Brotherhood and the Lion's Den lectures, as people come up, you know, they'll notice. And so here you are. So what's going on? Master Pyro, let me step in with you first. What's going on with you there, brother? In Florida?
It's dope you said that because I worked with Perception of Duality. He's one of these artists from, I guess, Gainesville.
Yeah, he's a hip hop artist in Orlando, I think. IMC Nation. He's also Frank White sorcerer.
Yeah. So he hit me up and you know, he was telling me that right now I'm going over some of the Lions Den and the Brotherhood, and he's like, man, you know, AZ talks a lot about you, man. It's like, It's dope to link up with you and X, Y, and Z. And it's like it's dope to have that experience as far as, you know, people actually watching your growth from where you started in your growth in the initial stage of wanting to grow and become great. And then now you are this character that you've been working on for the last, you know, I've been working on this since, you know, Lions Den started. And it's a beautiful thing to see the transitions grow and everything that's just coming along with it. As far as that sense, what you was talking about is, you know, the character is just infinitely growing, man. It's an amazing thing to just be consciously aware of it, man.
Yeah, man, I'm tested. I was hella tested today and I'm tested daily. That's great. I just talked with Brian Casella too. He said that you two had talked. And so some progress.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for that, man. Thank you for that. 100%. Thank you for that connection because I reached out to him. We had a phone call and yeah, man, I'm gonna get started on that whole avenue that's there waiting for me, you know?
Man, it's exciting. Good news. So that's going to be, you're going to become branded in the real estate industry and they'll know who you are. Master Pyro.
That's what it's about, man. Just keep on going after what it is that you want to go after, man, regardless of anything, man. You know, I'm not. That's a whole nother world that I've never even came across. You know, it's
leveraging what we got. It's leveraging what we got. Is he still on? I don't know if his video got booted. No, there he is. It's leveraging what we got. So if I got a tight connection with Brian, and I can just say that if Brian's got connections with a bunch of guys that need this stuff, it's filling needs and it's leveraging, you know, these invisible connections, these invisible resources that we have.
Yeah, because I reached out to him as well. I think last time I saw him in Tampa, I did the same thing. I just extended an offer like, hey man, I want to pull up to your event and I'll, you know, shoot you some videos or whatnot. And I made a connection there. So it's just to show you that, you know, when you take advantage of what's there in front of you, how things come back in full term. Because if I didn't have gone out that day, you know, maybe he wouldn't have been so more lenient of like, yeah, for sure, I'll work out with, you know, seeing what I could do with him. You know what I'm saying? Because that would have been a missed experience in that time gap.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did that.
For sure. I'm real glad that when I moved to San Jose and I went through Phoenix, I hit up Mr. Demari and he gave me a place to stay and you showed me where to work out. I hadn't run in like years. I was so winded. We went running the next day. I was in really bad shape and, you know, stretched a little bit. It was pretty, it was pretty fucking dope. And, you know, Mr. Demari, you've, you know, taken on leadership roles within IMC Nation, leading the IMC Black Panthers movement and being known for who you are and your creativity and your martial arts expression and, just your whole avatar and your look. And you're leading the base 2 or base 3 or whatever base number it is operation project, because it's still like undergoing, but it's happening there in Phoenix. What's going on with you, bro?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for that powerful introduction as well. Once again, it's a pleasure to be back again for Light Masculinity. But my progression, man, it's so dope. You brought up that moment where me and you connected while you were coming through and moving to San Jose. It was a powerful moment. And at the time, I didn't realize how powerful it was going to be, because now I look back on it, I'm like, man, that was such a key moment in terms of the integration of, even you being in San Jose, based in San Jose after having traveled so many different places. So it's really dope. But so since then, I've seen the evolution of myself, of course, in that progress and in reflection to everybody else, along with yourself, Fernando, Sultan, of course, all the Guardians, and then Master Pyro, Miracle J, everybody that's been tapped in, right? From the jump, there's been a collective evolution that I think we've all been able to witness in each other. And that progression has been, volumes in terms of like me looking back, on my past and looking like, where did I come from? Well, I was interacting with these, same individuals, but how much more powerful are we in terms of, knowing ourselves and whatnot. So it's just been a powerful progression for myself. So it's been amazing to see that growth and the expansion of our communication and our abilities, really. In addition to leading the Black Panthers, we are, I want to say 23 meetings in with our tribal meetings. And that's just is
so wait, you're 23 what?
Meetings.
Oh,
like
wow.
Tribal meetings. Yeah. Tribal meetings in terms of like, how many times that we've met, and we've been consistent with that. And that's been a growth process for myself, putting myself in that limelight, but also for everybody else that's been tapped in. Miracle J, I think, has been in every single one. So he can attest to that, that growth, maybe in himself, but also for everybody else. So it's just been amazing to see how that transition has been. And then, of course, all the other tribal leaders that have stepped up and done events or held meetings or, just stepped up to the plate. It's just really it's been inspiring, we don't get that everywhere. I know that for a fact. So it's awesome to be part of it.
Yeah, only even a little elements anywhere, you need so much persistence. I remember as you were talking about like 23 episodes or whatever, I remember looking at Joe Rogan, and he was like on episode 1410 or something.
Yeah.
And on his YouTube thumbnail, he would have like the number. And I remember thinking, how possible it was to get there. I would have like both sides of the thought. I would have the thought of like, you just do it every day and one day you'll be there. But then I would have the thought of some days I'd want to like quit my show and not want to do the show anymore. And I'm like, there's something to doing 1,400 episodes continuously on the same show, and more than just what the number is. So, 23 in is no joke, 200 in, that's no joke. And, one day you'd be 2,000 in maybe. And it's just, you have so much experience. Where do you see, what do you see? Is it like a cultural identity? When I'm looking at it from the outside, it's just a white guy who never knew anything about Black Panther, whatever, except what I saw in Forrest Gump, which is very little, I'd imagine. What do you see the group? Because I think you're kind of the poster of it. You and MJ and Master Pyro, and I don't even know who else is in it. I just kind of assume everyone who's Black who's in IMC Nation's in it, but I don't.
Well, that's the thing. That's how we want it to be. Everybody that is Black in there. But we got about 12 members right now all together, and been consistent with holding those meetings as well. But that is that's a platform that I see that we're able to tap into. Demigod, of course, shows up, and so all of us hold how we're setting it up now is we're all structuring ourselves within the organization. Similar to how IMC Nation is spread out. The IMC Black Panthers falls under that, and so all of us are going to be leading, thousands and thousands of men. And that's the projection. That's the purpose in which we're moving towards, is being able to lead those men and really, hold ourselves accountable to our community, being pillars for wherever it is that we go, whoever we engage with, similar to how we are in IMC Nation, but the Black Panthers in particular, we're taking that on as our priority and stepping up and allowing that to be our platform, right? So it's a prestigious thing to be a part of the IMC Black Panthers, right? And that's how we treat every one of these tribes that we gather. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, man. It's an interesting phenomenon that, when I look the different cultures, subcultures that are in IMC Nation, there's different gatherings and groups, and I don't even know how there's geographic groups, there's ethnic groups, and some of these hobbies and whatever people like. There's like Forex groups and whatever, or those are potentials and possibilities. But really, the thing that weaves everyone together are some of these ideas that would probably break friends or break other kinds of camaraderies or family ties or whatever. These ideas of how men and women relate, how you relate with your brothers, how they relate with women, and you're just overall general ideas of like whatever capitalism, politics, or vaccine, all that shit. Probably going to get hacked right now just for saying that word. And the culture of IMC Nation and of us as brothers, and where we create this too, how we interweave with each other and how we stack on each other's wins and expand and leverage. Like Director Master Pyro, I know you have a vision for, the storyboard, the storyline of things and how you're going to put things together. Like, what do you see? What do you see moving forward with no holds back? I don't know, like a reality show or whatever. What's real? What do you really see in the next whatever time horizon?
Just everybody already on their natural process of just evolving and seeking out their potential and doing what it takes to break through and things of that nature. And just going through that process, I see how everybody is naturally forming their own character. So when I do what I do, it's already there. Like when I shoot your millionaire club every month, it's clear that everybody has their own character. And that's all because everybody's on a process of internal change and things of that nature. So what I see is just something that's very unique in what we have here in IMC Nation, which is, the power of really, like I said, unlocking your potential, and everybody's following along this obviously, it's an obvious thing that could be seen because of like he said, as we go through the time that I'm documenting this thing, we could easily see a video or a photo from any one of us a year ago and see the complete difference. And I'm pretty sure next year is going to be the same thing. And just with that alone, just that simple documentation of the spectrum of men that's in IMC Nation across the board, it's like a string that runs across everybody, is going to tell its own story on its own, as long as we just keep on doing what we're doing, because it's playing out already. Like every time I look back at old footage, bro, it's just amazing what I see.
Okay. From your videographer and photographer perspective, or just your perspective in general, like what can we do to leverage like the Millionaires Club or the gatherings here? Like, I think it's kind of similar to, I think I might've asked you something similar last week, actually.
Yeah.
But maybe you had some time to chew on it, like any angles, any scene shots, any kinds of photos that you've noticed were particularly good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the one thing that really just sticks out to me is just really those that start to come to the events, they get the content or see the content of them talking with the girls hand to hand right there. Like they actually see that, like replay that, because at least what I can deliver mine, because what happens is what I'm seeing is you can really pinpoint everything in your body language and your communication and all that. And that's where you need to stem from your growth from as well. You see what I'm saying? Because that's like just like watching any kind of sport. If you're playing basketball, you're playing football, you're playing whatever, you watch old film, you know what I'm saying, to see what's the techniques and what you're doing wrong and things of that nature. So I just think like, that and just continue what we're already doing. I think that's the only thing. I think we're just growing every time we do it. I think we got everything in play as far as what needs to grow and what it's doing. because it's doing amazing, man. Like I watched both of them and I'm like, man, it's like two different, which it is. It's one event, but it's two different worlds in the same event because the way how we're branching it and where how
we're dude. We're gonna have like a whole movie screening or something. Pyro's gonna come with like a 2-hour feature film documentary of like the growth and evolution of IMC Nation. Yeah. Fuck, full length feature film. Master myself, you know, you're coming back. I don't know how certain are you that you'll be making it this weekend?
Oh, not this weekend, brother. The goal is to make it next weekend. But I'm 100% committed to coming. So that's what matters.
Let's assume then. Let's talk as if you're coming. So you're making it, and you're possibly potentially driving up with Arsenio Aaron Luna, who's on the show right now. That's why I'm giving him a shout out from Phoenix. And also, I don't know if you ever connected with Jason Bayot.
I have not yet.
You know, he moved to Phoenix.
Yes, we've been, for whatever reason, our schedules hasn't matched up.
It's a shame that you guys haven't met up yet. It's been like 2 months. Come on.
Man.
It'd take me 20 minutes. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
I agree.
So they're there. Also, Mark H. Have you met up with Mark H there?
I have not. I haven't heard from him yet.
Motherfuck. You guys could like already base up there. You don't even need anybody to move there. So, being a veteran, which is still, like I tell everybody, I feel like a 6-year-old kid in this, because that's about how many years I've been at this. So you're about a 6, 7, 8-year-old kid also, I think, in this, which is pretty mature to a lot of these babies that, you know, and toddlers and fucking infants and young children, some old children. Just the oldest kid in class is 10 years old or 17, I guess, or 15 or whatever, however, lecture or whatever. So, being a veteran coming back, like what would be your aim when you come to camp? Like give people your mindset. So people got some time to prepare. Like when you're about to make that pilgrimage to San Jose and do a gathering, we got 8 minutes left here. I'd be interested in both of y'all's answers for this. Like, although Pyro's not coming in like this kind of professional sense, it's almost like he can't even relax into it because he's always like videoing it. But so I'll get his take on it. But Master myself, like how do you think about intentions or what you want to do or what you want to gain from it, like in general and specific, meaning like as a general thing coming to camp, but also specifically like this time for you, if you wanted to share anything like that.
Yeah, 100%. Great question. You know, my intention, I remember the very first time that I left from Arizona going to San Jose. That was a powerful moment for myself because I remember leaving my room, looking at my room, and right before I closed the door, I just looked at it, took a picture of my mind, knowing that I wasn't going to be the same when I came back to the environment. So knowing that everything was going to be changed, right? And so I left with that intention and went and had the experience of going to meeting AZD. That was a movie moment, right? That was the first time where I met him. And I remember saying that, I think it was either to you or Raul Solorio when we were walking, that I was like, man, this feels like a movie. And so it was a realization in that standpoint with me carrying that intention. So, you know, this time around, as I come back, you know, it's been since March that I was out there last, right? So I'm looking forward to obviously reconnect with all the brothers, but every time that I re-arrive in San Jose, it becomes more real, right? The process, the evolution, the philosophy, everything becomes more real because I show up in person and I'm real, right? I am my character. I am master myself. So when I show up, that's my intention is to do that, to master myself. So to figure it out and really just throw myself in the field, you know, I'm looking forward to engaging in whatever dynamics it is that we move in, and really, you know, because I've been to every single beast camp and online, right, and for this year, and every single one has been a level up, right, but I'm looking forward to getting an application of that and moving with the pack in the field.
Is there what sort of things do you use to like prepare yourself to like get the most out of it, or is there anything like that comes to mind?
I make sure I get my meditations in for sure. Stretching definitely helps, and then while I'm there, you know, I usually when I link up with Sultan, we'll go to the grocery store, what have you, and you know, have food and all of that stuff readily available. Salute. So you know, that's a huge part of the process in terms of preparing my body, right? Knowing that my body is going to go through transformation, and the same, right? My mind and my spirit is getting ready to transform. I do that. So yeah, those are a couple of things in which I'll do.
Right on. And Master Pyro, I would ask similar, but almost now, because I have a similar thing. I don't really get to relax as much into beast camps, although beast camps are kind of like my vacation because I get to work less, I guess. I don't get to not work, but so what are some things that you both like as far as intention that you have or going into it, and then also like how you prepare so that you can achieve your intention? When you have an intention, you start like caring about your preparation a little bit more, so they naturally go like hand in hand. So yeah, to you.
Well, so for one, my intention is always to just make sure I find whatever I need to get to my next level. So whatever part of myself I need to let go of, whatever I need to really challenge myself in, as far as whatever I become aware of, like that's what I always seek. Like I never try to go in there comfortable. I never try to go to any camp and try to hold on to any ideas. I go in there just willing to let go, whatever's willing to let go. So that's kind of my background on when I'm there. And it's kind of interesting because with me, there's a constant balance between me staying in my passion, which is, my videography. So I'm tapping into that energy at the same time, and, doing a whole internal, exploration during beast camp. So honestly, I'm still learning about how that shit works for myself, to be honest with you, because it's always different every time I go. It's always different things that I learn, So it's just really just that first part is just being super open to changing any part of myself or letting go any part of myself every beast camp that I go to, because every time I do that and do it in a non-judgmental factor for myself, I always come out there like changed completely. And I always see the effects into my world every time, especially when I deal with these models and, networking and things of that nature.
Deal with these models and networking. Just throwing in DHV spikes like that, like it ain't no thing.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, that's real life for me though, you know what I'm saying? So
this is real life for him, huh?
It though, like, I gotta know how to communicate and be smooth when I'm in these situations. So I get better at that every time I go to beast camp. I just see I see it in all my work, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I love seeing that. I love seeing the transitions and shit like that. And if I don't get that, then I'm gonna be held back a whole nother month before I get that opportunity to explore at that level.
If you don't get what? If you don't get what?
If I don't get out my own way, you know what I'm saying, during beast camp, as far as learning about myself, what I can expand on and not judge myself in the incorrect manner, as far as whatever insecurities or whatever I just need to really expand on and be a man about or whatever. I just look for whatever is going to make me, try to make me less of myself. I try to find that and get rid of it. What I need to let go. Because the one thing I learned from TM is a lot of things just what I'm not willing to let go sometimes, not what I've gained or not. So
yeah,
that's just my own world and what I got going on as far as going to, like I said, because of all the practice I got going on, just really just getting that shit out.
Man, this has been great. You know what I think I want to do? I'm going to do a success lecture each week. I want to do a success lecture. So, because I got so many things. I want to talk about growth. It's going to be open but closed. It's going to be open to IMC Nation, but it's closed to people outside IMC Nation. And so we'll be able to share more ideas like this with the guys, the movers and shakers that can help me leverage. We gotta leverage what we got. We got to fight for every inch. It's not going to be given to us because
100.
That's just what it is. When you're a winner, nobody wants to give you a leg up. At least that's my experience. Let me think about that actually before I finish on that note. Actually, that's not true. I mean, it's not because you're a winner that people want to give you a leg up. It's because you're a hard worker and you gain favor with somebody. They give you a leg up. But basically, the winner is always kind of everybody's going after them. So only the winner's fucking family gives them a leg up. And even there, sometimes you gotta watch. Sometimes it's internal. So IMC is real dope because we put attention on that and look at it and don't shy away from it. And as we grow as a pack, like Fight Club across the world, really across the nation for sure. And I mean, it is the world, but like we're not able to meet up with everybody around the world. But I'm encouraging them to meet up. This is what I want to talk about in the success thing. We got to go to the Beast Gathering, but like I'm really encouraging IMC Australia, IMC Europe.
Oh yeah.
The Los Angeles. Anyway, we got to go to the gathering now. So thank you, Master Pyro, Master myself. Thanks all the live audience. If you're on the recordings, leave a review. That's how we show up in the rankings. And I'll see you next week with great guests.
Good brother.